Today we're going to make breakfast pizza. This is inspired by Casey's Breakfast Pizza, which is a well-known chain out here in the Midwest. I mean, this kind of pizza is fantastic. It's loaded with sausage and bacon and ham and cheese. Got a nice cheese sauce as a base, and then also has some peppers and onions on top. Let's take a look. Alright, so for this breakfast pizza, first and foremost, you're going to need pizza dough. You can use pre-made, you can make your own. I'm not going to have any recipes for this here, but we do actually have a separate recipe for pizza dough, which will be linked above. Otherwise, you can also use pre-made pizza crust, anything like that. Any of that stuff will work. Next thing you're going to need is some cheese sauce. I have some pre-made, or rather some homemade queso that I put together, but you can use any kind you want. My personal preference is Tostitos brand. I think that is the best one in terms of overall taste and ingredients, but you're going to use about half a cup or 136 grams of cheese sauce. Next thing you're going to need is eggs. You need about 3 eggs, and you'll scramble those. Then you're also going to need 3 more ingredients. You're going to need some bacon, some ham, and some mozzarella cheese. We have some leftover homemade bacon here, which is about 68 grams. We have about 2.5 ounces of Black Forest ham, and then we have about 8 ounces or 227 grams of mozzarella cheese, which we'll shred up. Then you're also going to need some breakfast sausage. I have the Greer's brand here, the spicy. It's actually not all that spicy, but it's really good. I'm going to use roughly about 6 to 8 ounces of this. When it gets cooked, it'll be significantly less. So really, I'm just going to cook up the whole pound, and we'll take out about half of that for the pizza. And then lastly, for toppings, we're going to have some onion. I'm using yellow onion here, and I'm going to do roughly about a quarter of that onion. And then we're also going to use some green bell pepper, which I'm using about half of a green bell pepper. So with all of that considered, we'll get things chopped up, get things cooked, and then we'll put it all together. Hi, Future Guy here. One thing that I want to note, well, really a couple things. First of all, if you don't already have some pre-cooked bacon, or if you, obviously if you don't have any of the homemade bacon like what I have, you can very easily get other kinds of pre-cooked bacon from the store. I recommend just getting some of the bacon bits. I typically will go Sam's Club. You can get a big bag of these. They work great for any instance where you would be using bacon. It's pre-cooked, but it still can get nice and crispy on top of the pizza. Alternatively, obviously, you can just make bacon normally. You can use that, chop it up, or you can crumple it up after it's done cooking. Either way works. Additionally, I also want to note that if you do not have if you don't want to go through the trouble of making up a bunch of sausage, like cooking up an entire pound just for the amount you need for the pizza, you can also do pre-made sausage patties. You can do ones from like Walmart or the Jimmy Dean ones, anything like that. You could also use turkey sausage. You could use chicken thighs. You could use just about anything that you want in place of that. And another thing you can note is that if you don't like cheese sauce, you could also use country gravy. You could use sausage gravy. You could use salsa, if that's what you prefer, taco sauce, anything like that. Use what you like, but I'm telling you, that cheese sauce goes great with everything else. Let's continue. Alright, so we're ready to assemble our pizza. So we're going to start off by sprinkling down some cornmeal before putting down the pizza crust. And we'll go ahead and get our pizza dough out and get that stretched. Alright, that looks good. Then we'll put down our sauce. Remember, this is about half a cup of homemade queso. It's cooled down a bit, so it's a lot thicker, but it should still spread just fine. Alright, and then after that, we're going to go ahead and add our scrambled eggs. Try to get those pretty well spread out. I know 3 eggs might not sound like it's enough, but it is. Obviously, you can do more if you want, but for our purposes, 3 is plenty with everything else that's going on this pizza. I know it might seem like sacrilege to put toppings underneath the cheese, and that's why there's going to be a little bit of both. The eggs and the sausage go underneath the cheese, and everything else goes on top of the cheese. Otherwise it just gets a little too crowded, and this way you don't have to worry about the eggs drying out since they're already cooked. Start spreading the remaining eggs and the sausage. Ended up doing half of the cooked sausage, which comes out to about 7 ounces after cooking. It's going to be lots of sausage, but it's really, really good and well worth all of that. Obviously, you can do less if you want, but we like to load it up really nicely. Alright, and now we're going to put on our mozzarella cheese. Once again, this is 8 ounces, or about 227 grams. We're going to get that spread thoroughly. Then we're going to toss on our onions and peppers. And even though I cut up a quarter of an onion, I'm probably actually not going to use all of that. It's probably going to be more like 1/8 of an onion that I end up using, but if you're using smaller onion, you can obviously use as much as you want. And then lastly, 2.5 ounces of ham and the 68 grams of already cooked bacon. In this case, it's some of my homemade bacon, which I'll link the recipe for that as well. Just keep in mind that it's not something you can make right before making this pizza, because it takes literally weeks to make. Or takes literally over a week to make. So I just already had some cooked up, ready to go. Alright, our pizza's all ready to go in the oven, 375, and we're going to do it for about 15 minutes. And now the taste test. Alright. Looking beautiful. You see all the nooks and crannies and the various things. Alright, give it a try. Very cheesy.
Cheese bowl. I do cheese. for the spice. Nice and meaty. Very cheesy, obviously. With the peppers, it's very, very good.
Alright, so let's get a slice off of here. Gotta put on a little bit of sriracha because I love sriracha on breakfast pizza. I mean, wow. Just come look at that. Toppings falling off, and get the eggs and the sausage and the cheese sauce, and everything is just... It's messy, but it's so good. Thanks for watching. Please leave a like if you liked this video, subscribe to the channel and share with your friends, and stay tuned for more recipes that, while not necessarily authentic, are always delicious. I have some leftover homemade bacon here.